So in today's episode, I want to introduce you to Zhen Yang, an absolute powerhouse that's been with the business just over a year as an IAD property consultant and comes from a background of banking, commercial banking. Today, I want to be able to talk through some of the successes that she's had in her first year in London, explore some of the differences between the industries coming out of banking and into property, and understand the lessons that she's learned along the way. Zhen, welcome to the famous studio for season 3, and thank you very much for joining us today. So, to kick things off, a bit about your background. You came from banking and have entered the world of property. Could you tell us a little bit about that journey and maybe some of the challenges or difficulties that you faced in making that transition from one business to the next?
Sure. Hi, Lee, and thank you for having me.
No problem.
For the current change, during current change, the biggest thing that I noticed from a very structured and then 9 to 5 office work into ever-changing people-centered career, and that's the only biggest challenge I had.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I like it because I can tailor-make my timetable. I can do the school run. I can do to book up all my diary according to the appointment with my clients, with potential buyers and things like that. It's just a very, very you need to working on your time management for sure.
I suppose we say you have so much of it, therefore you have to manage it as well. So quite different going from the very structured corporate world of 9 to 5 and knowing where you need to be at all points to having almost complete autonomy.
Yeah.
But you have to put the structure back into that week,
Sure.
don't you now? At
the beginning was daunting.
Yeah.
But just like a couple of months, you got your own momentum and you work it out, everything, and you feel better.
Brilliant.
Yeah, you
That's
feel
good.
more powerful.
Having that control, I think, as well, is a big thing, isn't it? And with that sort of those challenges around time management, one of the benefits I think that actually you've brought to the table with us here is the fact that the multicultural side of it, where you speak both Mandarin and English and have got a strong Chinese background and connections. That's probably brought both pros and cons, right, to the new world. So
Definitely.
I wonder if you could share with us, what either challenges have you faced with that, and how has it helped in your property business?
I have a lot of things to talk about, but keep things short. Like you said, language skill, to be able to be bilingual, you got pros and cons. There's like every single industry, for banking, for real estate, you have your own jargon, own terminology, and for foreigner, a lot of things to overcome. Some of my friends ask me, saying, "Jen, you're switching your career. How do you cope? You are going to speak to international people, and lots of them, majority of them, they are local.
Yeah.
As soon as they see you face, they think you're foreigner, you don't know anything about the policies in this country, and how do you overcome this language barrier?" I thought about it, and now I have to admit, sometimes I still have things like a stuck up, like stuck. I need to look up in the dictionary. I use like a chat GPT to find it out.
Yeah.
But later on, I kind of think at some situation, this is my advantage. For example, this is London. It's a cosmopolitan city.
Totally.
I feel like majority of the clients they trust me and they come to me. They are international buyers and sellers. So for me, if I really mention my background, they're not looking for the language. They're looking for genuine just to be real
Yeah.
and genuine character, trustworthy people.
Yeah.
And I tell them from the beginning, I just say, English is my second language.
Yeah.
Please bear with me.
Yeah.
But I ensure you, I will down to this very important documents. I have a very professional team to help me to go through it. And so as soon as you open up and you being real, they're fine.
Brilliant.
And even you make some grammar mistake, they don't really care.
Yeah.
They understand me. And sometimes they even teach me and they say that they correct me in a real kind of way.
Yeah.
And that I immediately bring both of my clients and myself very close to each other. And it's a kind of way to the icebreaker.
Brilliant.
And sometimes then I reflect and I told my friend, I said, sometimes I think this is not a disadvantage. I wanted to turn this disadvantage into my advantage.
It's your advantage. Yeah, no, and I absolutely implore you for doing that, because all of the training that we do, the workshops that we do, we are talking in English. And like you say, not only English, we're talking in jargon half the time. Because estate agency is full of estate agency jargon. And you're having to learn that on top of your traditional English that you've been working so hard on.
I enjoyed it.
Anyway, but
I learn something new every day.
You embrace that part of our business, and I can see that coming through in the conversations that you're having. And I know we talk around some of the messaging and stuff like that, and it's brilliant. So well done, and absolutely, speaking Mandarin as well is your advantage, and you can do that. So balancing. Let's talk about balancing. So you said at the beginning, managing your time was something that you had to focus on in the beginning when having so much of it, but you're a busy working mum. How does that fit in with your estate agency life?
I think estate agency helped me because the reason why I did a career switch. Yeah. That's purely because I need the freedom. Okay. So I do school run in the morning, and then I open up my calendar. Yeah. I plan a weekly, daily. So I make sure I have a concrete few hours work in the morning. So I just working on you need to really stick to your timetable. So that's the reason why, basically, that's how I micromanage my day-to-day activities. Whereas if I work in a office, I have an endless meeting. Yeah. I cannot. I just keep missing my family life. Yeah. I couldn't get the work and life balance. Yeah.
Well, that's good, and I'm glad you've been able to see that as a benefit. Obviously, when starting the business, obviously, as I said in the intro, the first year for me, I think, has been a really successful year for you. Oh, yeah. I've seen the listings that you've brought to market and the properties that you've been trusted with marketing, and you've got sales in hand already, both inside and outside of London. What's the most striking difference that you've seen between dealing with customers in central London, as you have, and maybe on the outskirts of London or outer London? What are the differences you've noticed in dealing with the different customers in different areas?
Definitely, there's some difference between an urban and suburb. Yeah. In London, most of buyer, they looking for convenience. And they like a faster pacing environment. So then they look at the investment point of view, whereas urban property buyers, they more focused on lifestyle, and community and school, so on and so forth. So why, I tailor-made my marketing and the way I talk to my clients, I will focus on like take this into consideration.
Yeah. That's smart, because, like you say, people do generally make those moves for slightly different reasons, and if you can lean into that with the marketing and how you present a property, how you talk about it in the description, I think you can lean into that strength of the likelihood of why somebody wants to live there, right?
Definitely.
That's good. That's good. Well done. So looking back at where you were maybe 5 to 10 years ago, starting through banking, but with this pivot that was coming up in your life into property and starting your own business, what piece of advice would you give to yourself at that point, knowing what you know now?
Actually, I just talked to my mom about like 2 weeks ago about this topic.
Yeah.
When I worked in banking background, I didn't do front desk like a sales team. I did like a bit back office or middle desk, lots of operations and lots of like paperwork and data. Whereas this my new career in property, it's client facing, people focused. I think a relationship, if going back years, like if I give one piece of advice to younger version of me, focus on your how to build up relationship.
Yeah.
And really, really listen to your client's needs. Listening skills vital instead of talking. So that's the main skill, and I would like to give a younger version of me. Just trying to do lots of client-facing role.
Yeah.
Because when I was young, I remember one of my I think my ex-CEO told me just during like a pub conversation, and he told me, Jen, I think you would really, really suit a sales role rather than sit behind the computer. And I just kind of doubted. I said, why? And why do you think so? And then he said, and you're easy to talk to, and I think you will really like to help people find what they need. And he just shared his perspective. And I talked to my mom. My mom said, really think about it. It's not steady. It's, typical mom.
Of course. Yeah.
They looking at stability rather than opportunity and take a risk and things like that. I kind of listened because of finance reasons. But now I told my mom, says I wish I take a leap when I was young and just do lots of sales and to like go traveling and to see different type of clients and to build up my knowledge, how to communicate with people. So cut in short, I just rather to do some sales role if I was like 20 years younger.
And what does mum think now? You're a year down the line.
Of course, she will say, every step make a contribution. Which is true. But my mom just laughed it, and then she said, "It's your decision. I just give you the advice."
Yeah, that's it. That's what they're there for. But no, I'm glad she's proud of you making those steps and building the business. So I had a funny one here, and I shared it with you before we met. But if you were to write a book, and we were talking from finance to front doors, from banking to estate agency, what do you think would be the central message of that book for you that you would want to convey to aspiring professionals thinking about a career change?
That's really a good question. Not even like a career switch. For example, I come over to this country 20 years ago. Really didn't speak any English at all. So to adaptation, lots of adaptation, and like work on every steps, how to overcome day-to-day difficulties. You know, just focus on small things and try to be adventurous, rather than just stay in your comfort zone all the time.
Yeah.
Once you step out of your comfort zone, you can feel you got great potential. You can do anything that if you put your mind into it. So I probably focus on this aspect.
Yeah, small steps and a big vision, and that's really good. What you can put your mind to, you can achieve. I love that. So, looking ahead, how do you see the property market now evolving inside of London, and what do you see for your future in agency?
I think my strength will be always bilingual and understand the cultural difference to bridge the gap between, let's say, Chinese buyer or any like a buyer from Southeast Asia, like Hong Kong, Singapore, Taiwan. So we all share the similar culture.
Yeah.
We have, like, for example, property, just lots of concrete data. But behind it, you have to understand how people think and what's their preference, what's their concern. I think I have a strong believing in London property market, because previous years we had a kind of quiet market, and now I can sense it's picking up, especially the prime location, central London. I have more and more inquiries from my buyers, my clients. So I will just focus on my strength. Because the reason why I have a strong belief in London's markets, purely because my background, majority of buyer, they looking at the foundation in this city. It's infrastructure, education, and stability. So I just, for example, I give you an example. Some of my buyers, they don't tell. Maybe sometimes they won't tell you, but they don't know what exactly they're looking for. And you just have to, between the conversation, between the line, you trying to bring out what's their real needs. Sometimes I remember one of the Chinese buyer, when they view one property with me, they don't know what was the problem, and they just say, I will think about it. You can sense the hesitation.
You know it's not going to go anywhere.
And then now I point out it's a feng shui.
Okay.
I don't know whether...
I know,
it's the layout of the property. Because majority of Chinese buyer, they prefer a square layout rather than quirky shape.
Yes.
And then I said, they as soon as I mentioned that, and she clicked on, and she said, yes, because as soon as I entered this room, I don't feel...
You can feel it, right.
So I just keep using my strength, and because I can sense, I know how they're formed information. So I just keep doing, I use my strength and bring the gap and use my language. Keep going.
Well, that is your strength, right? That is your superpower as an agent, and I want you to continue to lean into that, because it's already showing some great dividends for you in the business that you've built and the connections that you've made. So keep keep going on, because you really are creating something special for yourself, Jen. And I love working with you. As I said, you're an absolute powerhouse when it comes to the way in which you approach your business, and you're building something fantastic. So thank you for joining me today. Well done. And that's it for us. Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Jack, well done.